Hey everybody, my name is Roberto Blake, and today I'm going to talk to you about how you become a graphic designer. A lot of times I get requests on this YouTube channel for some tips on artwork or design or how people get started in the industry, so I did this video to cover as much of that as I can very quickly. For those of you who don't know what a graphic designer does, a graphic designer is responsible for a number of things, and that can be anything from creating logos to producing the advertisements you see in billboards, magazines, or in street posters, doing poster artwork for movies and things like that, or designing the album covers that you buy in a store. Most people either go to art school, whether it be a four-year university or a community college, to get a degree in graphic design and advertising. But that's not the only way to become a graphic designer. Some of the most successful graphic designers and digital artists in the industry today either did very little schooling or none at all and were mostly self-taught using books and the internet. But I'm just going to give you an overall idea of how you can get started in your career today. One of the most important things you can do is learn about graphic design history and what a graphic designer does. And that includes everything from print work, graphics for websites, logo designs, etc. There are a lot of great websites to help you understand what a graphic designer is, and tutorials, background, introduction to the Gestalt principles, things like that. Some of those websites are A List Apart and PSD Toots. I'll leave links to some websites that I think will help you in the description below this video. The major programs that graphic designers use are within the Adobe Creative Suite. The current version of Adobe Creative Suite is Adobe CS6. And usually this software is really expensive, but Adobe's doing a subscription program now. If you're a student, you can pay $19.99 a month and you can get access to all of Creative Suite, which is something like 10 major programs plus a bunch of online programs that you can use as well. So that's really interesting and very cool that they've made it affordable now. But there are also a lot of free programs out there you can use, like the GIMP, to help you get started, and I'll try and leave some links below so that you can get that information and so you can download that software. Adobe's also got CS2, which is an older version of their software that they're giving away free licenses for now because they don't want to maintain the server that monitors the licenses. So I would definitely advise you, if you're just getting started, to go ahead and get that, because the old software still has a lot of great features. And it was the top tier in the industry for years before the newer software came out. So definitely look into that. But speaking of the programs, the three major programs that you're going to use as a graphic designer are Adobe Photoshop for manipulating and editing images and creating digital artwork and assets. You're going to be using Adobe Illustrator to do vector illustration, which is vector artwork can be scaled to any size, whether it's a business card or a billboard. It'll maintain all of its quality and have no jagged edges. It'll be perfect and clean, which is why it's the primary program for logo designers. Then there's Adobe InDesign. Something that people know very little about today is a major layout program that's used in professional advertising, for magazines, as well as newspapers, and just in general for any print projects, including movie posters and album covers. The reason is that this program is great for multiple page documents and for laying out things at any size and for controlling typography. So Adobe InDesign is the industry standard for print work and for layout and for professional advertising. So if that's what you want to get into, you will need to learn that software. And it's a little different than Photoshop or Illustrator. But the learning curve on it is actually probably a lot less. It's a lot less involved. One of the other programs you'll definitely need to learn is Adobe Acrobat. Now, if you've read PDF documents before, you at least know about that side of Adobe Acrobat, but the real functionality of it ties back to both Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. When producing a final product to go to a printer, you'll want to use usually Adobe InDesign to assemble a final product, but you'll produce it in PDF format with what are called marks and bleeds. And these are marks that the printers use to determine where the end of the document is and to cut it off accurately. This is especially important when you're dealing with multi-page magazines or ads that are a spread, which means that it's on both pages of the inside of a magazine, or what's called a gatefold, which is a piece of artwork that folds out of the magazine and is multiple pages long. There are a lot of books that you can read to get a better understanding of graphic design, and a lot of them will actually help you with the principles, but you should also look at books to help you learn the basics of the software as well. Most designers ultimately just jump into the software and start playing with it, and in a lot of ways I would say that's the best way to learn. But if you really want to understand what all the tools do and you want to grasp them in a short period of time and figure out what they are before you try to say, I'm going to do this or that with them, I highly recommend getting some really good books. Alright, so we covered a lot in this video. I'll definitely be doing more videos like this, but I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about how you go about becoming a graphic designer and what steps you can take to begin your career. And you don't have to wait till you're in college to start this. You can start as early as 12, 13, 14 years old, however old you are, if you have a real interest and a passion for it. I actually got into this when I was about 13 or 14 years old. So again, there's no time like the present to start. Don't hesitate. If it's something that you really are passionate about and driven to do, just move forward and go for it. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Again, there's some more information for you in the description below, and I just will catch you on the next video.